Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we're going to learn about my favorite artist, Henri Matisse. And Henri, or Henry Matisse, is an awesome artist we're going to learn about that actually draws with scissors. If you've been wondering what that means we cut paper without drawing with pencil first. So we're just going to kind of go for it today and really have fun making abstract art. We talked in class today about how abstract art is art that really doesn't look like anything you could call a picture. It's just a bunch of different shapes and colors to make your picture. It doesn't look like a pony or a house or a cloud. It can just look like whatever you imagine that would be. It's like putting a puzzle together. On this assignment, I attached two videos. One video is a little bit about Henri Matisse's background, and the other video was Henri's scissors. It's a storybook. You are more than welcome to look at both those videos to learn more about Henri Matisse, or you can just jump straight to this one if you're here. It's up to you. What you need for this project is a long piece of black paper or dark paper. It can be whatever you have at home. The one we use at school is 6 inches by 16. So we're working long and kind of skinny. You'll need 4 different colors of construction paper. These are the ones I picked. And maybe some white paper today. So let's make sure we have our black paper, colorful paper, and if you want to have some white paper, we can work on that too. But what we really started off talking about after we learned about Henri or Henri Matisse, we started talking about different kinds of shapes. And we learned last year that a shape is a line that meets. Okay, and we read a book about that if you kind of remember. So a shape, remember, is a line that meets and encloses a space. There are 2 different kinds of shapes. The first kind of shape we're going to talk about is geometric. And that's a really fancy word for shapes that have straight lines and corners. So a geometric shape would be like a triangle, a square, a rectangle, maybe even a trapezoid. There are lots of geometric shapes. Geometric shapes, or even a star. If you want to draw a star, anything that's made up of straight lines and has pointed edges, that's a geometric shape, okay? That's the one type of shape. The second type of shape we're gonna learn about is called organic. Not like the food you might get at the grocery store. Organic shapes are very free-flowing. They have curves and no straight edges. You just kind of make whatever you feel like. They kind of remind me of paint blobs. So organic shapes. Henri Matisse, if you watch the video, loved using organic shapes. Lots of curves, no straight edges. If you can think about a puzzle piece, if you've ever done a puzzle, it kind of looks like puzzle pieces, right? So organic shapes are really fun to do. They can be long and skinny, or they can be really wide. It's up to you. So we have our 2 different types of shapes. Sorry about that. We have geometric and organic. So what you need besides the paper, you'll need some scissors and a glue stick. With your colorful paper, I want you to cut out some rectangles or squares that fit inside your black paper. So this piece of purple is kind of too big for my paper, so I'm going to trim it down. So with your scissors, see, it's a little too big. If I wanted to go this way, I could have it go long ways. I want you to kind of play around with your composition or the design. I want you to see what colors you like next to each other and see, maybe tilt some way this way, some go a different way. Figure out how you want to put these together. Mrs. Cole kind of likes the blue. Okay, I think I like this a little bit better. All right. You can figure out however you want to do this. It's your composition or your design. Once you lay it out and everything is on your black paper, you glue this down. In class, we probably had to trim a lot. I already had mine pre-cut, so I knew what size it was. So you don't want anything too small because this is gonna be our background, our geometric shape background. So you wanna use squares or rectangles back here. So with that colorful paper, pick 4 colors and cut out large rectangles, squares, and kind of play around with your composition. Once you like that, I want you to glue this down with glue stick. Now we're using glue stick. We glue the piece of paper we're attaching, not the background paper. So I'm just going to add glue all around the edges and then a little in the middle. I don't have to push very hard, just a little bit, and then I'm ready to stick it. So then when I'm ready, just put it down. How did I have it? Like this, and stick. Give it a good massage, and then you're all set. So go ahead and glue all this down, and then come back for one more thing we did in class today. Okay, I've glued down all my shapes. I really gave it a massage to make sure it's stuck. Sometimes glue stick is tricky, and if you have a little edge coming up, just add some more glue stick and stick it down. You can also turn it on the back and give it a back rub. But we want to have this done, and it doesn't matter which top or bottom. I look like this. So this is the main thing we got done today. If we have extra time, we are going to practice cutting a spiral. A spiral is also an organic shape. So if you think about a spiral, it kind of looks like this. Well, that's really hard to cut. You could create it like a thicker shape, kind of like a C. So there's lots of things. So we do organic shapes. These are really kind of fun to cut. So we had an extra time today in class, so we decided to do this. So without using pencils, we didn't use pencils at all. We're gonna cut out a circle. So with your scissors, cut out a really big circle, any color you want. In class, we used white, just because that's what we had. You can use whatever you want. A nice big circle. And remember, we're trying not to draw first. We just want to draw with our scissors. So have a nice big circle. It's not perfect, and that's okay, because it's really hard to cut a perfect circle. Remember, when using scissors, your scissor hand stays still, and you turn or steer the car with your other hand. Never flop around your scissors. Especially never have your scissors facing you. So when you're ready to cut a spiral, this is what I suggest. You start with your scissors and you just do a little snip. So you just cut a little. And then I'm gonna turn it with my steering wheel. So I'm gonna snip and I'm gonna turn and cut. I'm gonna cut until I get close to the edge, and then I'm gonna turn my paper. Cut, turn. I'm gonna keep cutting and turning. Cut, turn. And I can make it fat or I can make it skinny, and I'm gonna keep cutting and turning until I decide I'm done. And that makes a spiral out of a circle. Now, it doesn't look all that interesting when you put it on your paper, but what does look interesting, if you take your spiral and maybe cut it in different pieces, so you have some really cool shapes. So I like these instantly organic shapes by using that spiral. So I could cut this, like round off the edge here, round off the edge here. So I could take that circle that I turned into a spiral and make lots and lots of shapes with them, right? So I could take all these and add some organic shapes. So that's how we finished class today. We were just practicing getting used to making circles and not drawing with our scissors, because cutting rectangles and squares is kind of easy, but those other ones are kind of hard. If you have some time and you want to practice before we go, you can take whatever scrap paper you have and just practice drawing with your scissors. Just start cutting. Remember, we don't move our scissors, you move your hand. So just start cutting and turning that paper and cut and turn that paper, going back and forth until you get something that really looks cool. Remember, you don't want any corners. So if you have a corner, trim that off. And instantly, I have this really cool organic shape. And what's amazing about this project is we also keep our scraps. So I have this really cool organic shape, but then this I could turn into a little geometric shape. I could cut off the curves or the points here and add curves. And I have a whole new organic shape. So we're using every single piece of paper we can for this project. So my suggestion is, if you're done for today, get like a zip top bag and put all your pieces in there so you don't lose them, because that's what we're doing in class. Because next week we're gonna start adding organic shapes and then a sprinkling of geometric shapes. So all I want you to do today is glue down your 4 colors of geometric rectangles or squares, practice cutting a circle and then turn it into a spiral. Oh, that's a good one too, I'll keep that. Then practice taking your scrap paper and turning that into different shapes too. So it's a lot of practicing with scissors. I don't want you to use a pencil at all. So when you're all done, take a picture or two and add it to this assignment. And that's it. Next week, we'll finish drawing with our scissors and decorate our Henri Matisse collage. I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye, my most amazing artists.